So I'm on a storage adventure and I bought this here muscle rack. In this video, I'm going to show how to convert this kind of crappy metal storage rack into a super awesome workbench rack system with plenty of storage. And this is a double wide unit that has been converted to be 8 foot tall with the extensions. And it has a very sturdy, smooth workbench surface that I clear coated and installed some under cabinet lighting. I really like using these metal components. They're actually quite strong, and this simple angle iron for the vertical supports is very easy to work with, and I can use this and gang them together in different configurations with just some 2x4s. And so really I only need to cut up one 2x4 and some other scrap wood and scrap plywood here, and I'm going to make a super workbench muscle rack system. And you might wonder why go about doing it this way as opposed to just building an all wood structure. And it's not really a cost or time saving way to go about it. It just makes a better overall quality and more functional product. I actually have an all wood rack that I built years ago right here, and it's made with inexpensive wood, but it's a lot of cutting and fitting and fasteners, and it's not really cleanable unless I wanted to paint it. And the vertical rails take up usable space front to back that adds an extra 1.5 inches to the overall dimension. So it's not as compact, not as cleanable, not as strong, and a lot more work to put it together. I just think the metal racks are the way to go, just because it has a nice smooth baked on finish, and it's very compact. The metal is only about 1/16 of an inch thick, as opposed to the wood, which is 3/4 inch thick if you're gonna put it together with screws. So I just think it's the way to go to make a compact fixture that is practical. And so flimsy wood panels, this is just 3/8 particle board. I don't know what that's going to be good for. I'm ready to begin the install for the second rack, and I have all the tools, fasteners, and parts laid out, so I can go over this real quick. If you want to build this product in the same configuration, I will have plans available for download that you can get. There will be a link in the description. So here we have 1/4" Luan that is going to be on the back. The back is optional, and I have holes pre-drilled in various locations to make the install go quick, and those will go on with screws. So this is the base that I have made out of 3/4 Advantech, and all of this material is junky plywood that I had designated for pallet building and crates, so I was able to make use of that. And this will go in with pocket screws into the floor, so I can go over some of these screws. The screws are the most important factor to make the install go efficiently, and the most important one are these 1-inch super round washer head screws that are common for cabinet making, for installing drawer fronts, and this makes installing the angle bracket supports much quicker, so I don't have to use washers with any screws. So I have the 1 inch and a 3/4 inch size for the bottom part, which is 3/4 inch thick. And the number 6 3/4 inch is going to be for the fixing the back. That's a common screw. Some of these I'll be selling on my eBay store in small quantities, like these pocket hole screws. These are 2.5 inch and 2 inch, and the extra length is needed to fix that to the floor through the shim stock. My floor is way off, so some of the shims get pretty thick. So I've got the shim stock laid out and the flat bar for positioning the base, getting it leveled up, and the saw for trimming the shim stock when everything's done. So I've got the 2 foot, the 4 foot level, and a mallet is helpful for pounding in the metal parts. And I have a pre-drill drill bit if needed, clamp, and I think that's pretty much everything. So the only critical dimension building this is getting the outside dimensions of the base and these middle dividers to match. But other than that, the other dimensions are fairly relative. So I've got all the parts laid out here, and I will be installing some fancy LED puck lighting for the workbench area. So I'll be trying out this product, and this is definitely a step above the cheap varieties of LED lighting that you can get on eBay and Amazon. Okay, so I'm ready to set this into the floor. Just want to make a note that when I did the first one, I set the base in first before I attached anything to it. And the reason why I did it this way is because these two racks are going side by side, and so I wouldn't have access to get the screws onto the side rails if I had installed the base first. So that's the only reason why I did it this way, which is now going to be heavier and a little bit more difficult, but I'll still be able to get it in there. The easier part is that I will be able to piggyback it onto the side of this other base, which is already installed. And that's why I put those extra cleats to make up the space for the side rail and the screws that stick out.
Enjoy.